Hi there.
Hi, Malone.
Nice to see you. How old is Fauja?
101.
Although he's 101, Fauja has never had surgery. He shows no signs of heart disease. And he takes no medication. He believes that his long life and his incredible health is down to his diet.
So, any particular diet?
He has no particular diet. It's a simple Punjabi farmer's diet of just fresh food. But his secret is he has smaller portions.
Right.
In poor countries, people die of starvation. In rich countries, people die of overeating.
So how much does he eat, say, compared to you or I?
He would eat what would be considered half a portion, almost a child's portion.
So child portions, probably about half the amount of calories you or I would eat.
This is the Dean Show.
Welcome back to the Dean Show, and I'm with not one but two special guests, Michelle Gillespie and Jim Arlo.
Hi.
You guys have been studying nutrition for how long now? And tell us a little about yourselves.
Michelle?
I've been studying nutrition since I joined the Peace Corps in 2004. At that time I was eating chili cheese burritos and a bunch of junk, and the Peace Corps said, "You're going to be a nutritionist." And I guess they made a pretty good decision. That was one of the things that got me interested in nutrition, and I've been learning more ever since.
And yourself, you're no stranger to the show. 40 years, you were sick and tired of being sick and tired, and so for 40 years since then, you took a turn and started studying.
Not quite 40 years,
Yeah.
but at the age of 20, I reached a point in my life where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time, and I decided it was time for me to take responsibility for my own health and learn how to be healthy, and nutrition was a big part of that. And I began to develop my nutritional integrity, very important concept. Nutritional integrity is all about setting standards for what is acceptable food and drink for your body, and then being faithful to those standards. And nutritional integrity always involves eating real food rather than fake food that we talked about last time I was here.
And that was at around the age of what, 20?
20.
Right? So you're going on 40 years. You've been studying this, going on 40 close to, right?
Well, I'm 58, so yeah.
Yeah, tell us now, the food that you're eating, can that be food that is actually helping you to live a more vibrant life, or actually it could be killing you?
Of course, yes. Well, the food that Michelle eats, the food that I eat, is helping us to be as healthy as we can be, so we can live our life more fully and more richly, because how fully and richly we live our lives is very much dependent on our energy, our vitality, and that adds up to our level of health. The better we nourish ourselves, the easier we make it for our body to be healthier, at the very least.
Let's talk about, Michelle, some of the consequences of not eating right, not nourishing your body with what the fuel that it really needs, the fuel that helps you to live a more vibrant, healthy life. The consequences of not doing that, and how important this is.
Yeah, well, it affects everything, but I think the top three that I like to think of are energy, and mood, and mental clarity. If you're not eating very well, energy affects everything you do.
We got energy. But what was the other one?
Energy, mood, and mental clarity are the top three.
I mean, this is, right there, you can see the majority of people out there, you feel that sluggish feeling, you're not able to get up and be vibrant. Food is definitely one of the leading causes, if not, the culprit at the top.
At least 4 out of 5 people that we do nutrition and health counseling with will admit to experiencing various degrees of brain fog at various times.
Yeah.
Brain fog, meaning that their level of clarity is not very good, their memory is not as good as they know it could be, they have a difficult time concentrating, their reading comprehension is not very good. All of those symptoms that can generally be called brain fog, they can be caused by eating fake food, by putting sugar, refined, processed carbohydrates into your body, foods with all kind of chemical additives and chemical residues from pesticides. For instance, pesticides, they kill bugs because they're poisons. Pesticides are poisons, and specifically pesticides are neurotoxic. They actually damage the nervous system. In fact, they destroy the nervous system of an insect. That's how they kill the insect. Now, the government agency called the FDA, which is supposed to be there to protect the American public from toxic substances in the food supply, they say that pesticide residues are fine, they kill bugs, but they don't cause any harm to people. Well, there's no science supporting that position, but that's an understandable business policy in support of the commercial food industry. But pesticides not only are toxic to insects, they can also be toxic to animals and also human beings, and specifically neurotoxic. There's a nutritionally minded neurologist by the name of Dr. David Perlmutter, who's written a number of books over the years. The Better Brain book, he wrote a very popular book just a few years ago called Grain Brain. Anyway, in his Better Brain book from about a dozen years ago, he had a chapter in that book, Chapter 8, Getting the Toxins Out, and he identified as a neurologist, as an MD neurologist, he identified pesticides as being the most harmful chemicals that Americans are routinely exposed to that can ultimately contribute to what I mentioned a few moments ago about the very common symptom of brain fog.
Okay, your child is mine. Got a nice gift. You think, okay, your schoolmate wants to share because, all right, you don't want to be stingy. But how do you address the issue? So how do you, you get one of these? Could you guys, I like in my old days, I'd love to eat this. I'll eat a box of them. But what do you guys have to say? What is this? This is a Danish sweet.
Wonderful opportunity for a mom and dad to begin to educate their children about the difference between real food and fake food.
Yeah, kids
Michelle?
are very impressionable, and they like to look at what their parents are doing and what their older siblings are doing. So first of all, the parents setting a good example for themselves or for their children is a great start. I've worked with a family with a 4-year-old, and she will not eat candy anymore. She's 4. It's awesome. She learned from her dentist that candy is bad for her teeth. She learned from me that candy is not good for her health, and hearing it from all these different sources, now she's actually more firm than her parents in not eating candy.
What about the common response you usually get? Well, in moderation. Okay, we don't eat it every day, maybe a couple times a week. What's the big deal? As a reward now for the kids, they're doing good, so we throw them one of these or some lollipops and some other junk food.
Well, do you just want to be a little bit healthy, or do you want to be really healthy?
That's a very good point. And it's also important to understand that sugar is a highly addictive substance. Refined and processed sugar, as I mentioned in our previous show together, is the most common addictive stimulant that people use, and it does have addictive qualities to it. So there's although someone may have the intention to only do a little bit of high sugar fake food like this, it's a precarious practice because many people, although their intention may be to just do a little bit of it, the more they make that part of their lifestyle, the more prone they are to actually doing more than a little bit, and they can begin to do it on a regular basis, and the more and more they do it, the harder and harder it's going to be for their body to be healthy.
Yeah, it's never just a little. It's like there's a piece of candy at the doctor's office. Even at the dentist office, there's a piece of candy for the kids. And they go to school and there's cupcakes. I mean, it's not usually just one. If it were really just one, that would be different.
It doesn't stop there. So we're making sugar addicts from a young age.
Yes.
If we continue with that.
Yeah, I know many parents have the, I think, incorrect attitude about offering their kids very commonly available sweet treats. So like ice cream and cookies and cakes and all that type of stuff. And they feel like if they don't allow their children to have some of that they're depriving their children. I think a better way to think of it is that your children need to be protected. Your children need to be protected from fake food and all of the marketing, all the millions and millions of dollars that go into marketing fake food with addictive qualities to children. So I don't think a parent is depriving their child by saying to their child that this is fake food. you don't, this is not something you want to eat. You want to eat real food instead, and educating your children. And you're not depriving them. You're protecting your children.
Them. I like that. Protecting them.
We can fake
right.
You want to protect
children.
your children.
They need to
you
be
love
protected.
them, don't you? You
That's
love
right.
them. You want to protect them. We'll be right back with more here on The Dean Show. Don't go.
Please subscribe to The Dean Show. Follow us on our official Facebook and Twitter pages in the links below. Please also help support The Dean Show by making a donation in the link below.
Back here on The Dean Show, and we're trying to save lives. Could we technically say that by educating people in this area of something it's not too complex to understand, you can actually end up saving lives. We're trying to save lives. This is a serious issue.
What Michelle Gillespie and I and all real nutritionists have to offer people is how they can save themselves from unnecessary health problems.
Mm-hmm. So you give them the proper education, the proper information. Now it's up to them to decide, obviously. But this is, let's talk about the consequences. Give me a few, like diabetes, obesity. This is like at an epidemic today.
Yeah.
What other chronic diseases? Now you can take the advice and then this is the positive outcome, or you don't and you continue on, and what are you going to suffer from?
Well,
high blood pressure.
Give me some more. Come talk to me.
Well, just about every symptom potentially under the sun, everything from allergies to zits, so to speak. But if the body is not being nourished properly, it's only a matter of time before it begins to break down in one way or another. We all have very much in common, but we have our differences. We all have our own unique genetic strengths. If you put 10 people together, all eating fake food, they may all break down in different ways.
Yeah, for me it was insomnia. I had a big problem with insomnia, and improving my nutrition really helped that. And it doesn't seem like something that would come from what you eat, but there are a lot of things that you can do with nutrition to improve your sleep.
That's profound. So now you have insomnia, you have diabetes, you have heart disease, we mentioned. All of these ailments, now most people are also taking some sort of prescribed drug. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously not taking care of the problem, is it? That's maybe masking it?
Well,
and
right.
Can that be linked back to food?
Yes.
Many people don't look. They don't look for the culprit in food, right?
The father of medicine, who to this day, physicians graduating medical have to take something called the Hippocratic Oath. Mm-hmm. And so the Hippocratic Oath is named after Hippocrates. Hippocrates was a Greek physician who practiced several thousand years ago, and his...
What's that oath again? Do no harm?
Well, that's part of it,
yeah.
But some of the wisdom that came from Hippocrates was this very simple and profoundly important wisdom. Let your food be your medicine, and your medicine be your food.
That's deep.
Okay.
Let food be your medicine, and medicine be your food.
Right. And
most people, this doesn't seem to them that it's fathomable. They don't grasp this. I mean, I'm amazed by it. But most people, when you have a Coke, a Pepsi, potato chips, pizza, burger, is that your medicine?
That's actually a prescription to create health problems that will actually, when you go to a conventional medical doctor, then they'll put you on so-called medicine, which never addresses the cause of the problem.
When's the last time you've been to the doctor? You go check up every couple times a year,
no,
3 times.
No.
When's the last time?
I haven't been to a doctor because of a health problem since the 70s.
Oh,
okay.
How about yourself?
I visit an osteopathic physician, not on a regular basis, but I do go to him once in a while.
For health maintenance.
Yeah, for health maintenance, absolutely.
This seems like this might be getting in the way. I mean, you people like you, if everybody's healthy like this, we're going to put some people out of business. Like.
Well, the most important doctor any of us could ever know is the doctor within ourselves. Our body knows how to be healthy. It wants to be healthy. The direction of our life force energy is always towards healing and health. If you cut yourself, it heals. You know, if you get injured in a martial arts workout, or if you injure yourself any other way through any activity that you're engaged in, your body has a capacity to heal itself. The healing doesn't happen magically. The body needs to be supported well enough in order for us to realize our full healing potential. But the most important doctor any of us could have respect for and to honor is the doctor within ourselves.
The person says, look, they know they need to lose 100 pounds. Where do they start? How do they start? They're addicted to some of this food. There's habits now that they accustomed to. They wake up in the morning with Frosted Flakes and a stack full of pancakes.
Well, then a good place to start would be breakfast.
Breakfast. Let's start right there.
You can start with anything that feels right to you. Breakfast is the first meal of the day. It makes sense to start with that. Take out junk food and add in real food. I think that's the first step. You don't have to have a perfect diet from day one. Just pick one thing that you're passionate about, that you feel you can make a change with, and make a change there, and build on that.
Baby steps. Okay,
baby steps,
so take one thing out that's bad. Can we start with white processed refined sugar? Isn't it true also that now the marketing? It's really interesting. I heard this from my strength and conditioning coach. He said that sugar they keep changing the name. They've given it so many different cover-ups names, so you can't identify it.
Evaporated cane juice and
give us some of these names.
High fructose corn syrup, corn syrup. Well, there are different kinds of sugar.
Yeah.
Beet sugar.
So these things, if you see it, this is what you want to stay away from. This is a good start.
Well, remember I said in my first appearance on the Dean Show, Eddie, that the simplest teaching I have to offer about nutrition, and call this Nutrition 101, is that if you want to be real healthy, then eat real food. And real food is simple food that does not come with a label with a list of ingredients. So if you're reading foods, if you're buying foods that come with a label with a list of ingredients, it is important to read those ingredients. And sugar can be disguised in a lot of different ways, but a higher level of nutritional consciousness and practice to actually realize is where you're not buying foods that have labels with lists of ingredients. Generally speaking, there can be some exceptions to that. But the best quality real foods that God and nature have to offer us, fresh, ideally pesticide-free organic vegetables and fruits, and whole, raw, non-salted, non-roasted nuts and seeds, and legumes, which are beans, lentils, and peas, and whole organic grain products, and then meats and fish, seafood.